Hi, everybody. Rob Keys here doing a very quick review of Marvel's Doctor Strange. I saw it early last week on Monday. It comes out this Friday, and I wanted to let you know that this movie is not very awesome. I'm kind of disappointed by this film. It's just okay. It's competent. For a movie that promises to open up the Marvel Cinematic Universe to a whole new thing like Guardians of the Galaxy did, this one is supposed to introduce parallel realities, alternate dimensions, magic, and mysticism. It does that on a very surface level sort of way. But it's also kind of boring, and its main character is not very fun to watch. And it's a very, very basic formulaic origin story, which I sort of knew going in. This movie was always going to sell itself on its amazing Oscar-caliber cast and really cool visuals and martial arts. And you do get some cool visuals. There's a little bit of martial arts, but not very much. And the story is even more basic than I thought. I mean, dude, man of science, loses his hands, has to learn to accept that there's other things out there and becomes a man of faith or a man of spirituality, or at least a man who will believe in the idea that there are alternate realities and some concept of magic. And that's a big leap this movie makes, and it makes it very quickly. And the problem is the first 30 minutes of this movie, which is all about Dr. Stephen Strange being a world-renowned neurologist, but also a totally arrogant, selfish dick, doing it for glory and success as opposed to actually trying to make a difference and help everybody he can. He's just going for those safe bets. That'll get his name out there. So in a lot of ways, and the comparison has always been made, but he's a lot like Tony Stark, except he doesn't have that charm. And it's really strange that, no pun intended, that Benedict Cumberbatch has to put on an American accent for this film because he's a super talented British actor. They don't have British superheroes in the MCU, so why don't they just let him use his accent? Because his American accent feels forced. It's a little awkward and weird at times, and it just makes even more comparisons to Tony Stark, which is unnecessary because Tony Stark has his confidence and charm, and then you have someone in another similar formulaic origin story like Ant-Man, where Paul Rudd Scott Lang is really, really funny and charming and has that cool family dynamic. This guy doesn't have any of that. He's just a dick, and he's not likable, and all this awful stuff happens to his hands in the first 30 minutes, and they really dwell on that a lot, and then it takes a giant leap from there to him being accepted by the Ancient One into Kamar-Taj to learn magic, which is kind of a big leap, and then we take very quick leaps from him being an apprentice or a trainee there to being like a masterful student. And while all that's happening, you're not really getting much magic. What this movie does do, and what you're seeing now in the background, is there's a lot of visual effects with like world bending that takes place in the mirror dimension. But it's not magic per se. It's just like weird visuals that are happening in the background that have no effect on our reality because the mirror universe isn't our universe. I wanted to see like spells and abilities and stuff like you see from the comics, and there isn't much of that. There's just a lot of world bending stuff and a lot of portal creation. And I will say this, the portal creation and the brief glimpses we get into alternate dimensions are incredible. They look amazing in 3D. I bet they look spectacular in IMAX. There's not enough of that. There are some cool sequences in the back half of the movie that I will not spoil here that are just mind-blowing. And despite this movie just being okay, it's like a little step above Iron Man 2. It's like bottom 2 or 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe out of the 14 movies so far. So, which is such a shame because this one has so much potential. But they don't do enough with the magic. I mean, Doctor Strange creates like energy whips with sparks, and he creates energy shields. But then so does Agent Coulson in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He can create a shield with his robotic hand. So that's not special. The Ancient One creates these fans that she can kind of float around with and fight with. But that's it. There's not much cool, badass magic, which is weird. And a lot of it's not explained. It's just kind of told to you. We are told that these masters of magic, these sorcerers, are protecting our world from the threats the physical world cannot see from other dimensions and stuff. But we never see that happening. We never see them fight these other threats. We never see these warriors kick ass. We're just told that they do. So the animated film from 2006, 2007 did a far better job of introducing this origin story, showing what these guys are all about. And I hate to say it, but even doing a better job developing the two-dimensional villain. Because in this movie, Caecilius, not a very deep villain. They don't really explain his background. Mads Mikkelsen is great. He looks the part. They do some cool stuff with visuals, but they don't really delve into what he's doing. And it's kind of a shame. It's the same problem so many of these Marvel movies happening. The status quo stuff is not working. It hurts this movie a lot. That being said, there are some very cool supporting characters. The Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, is badass. She looks awesome. She's an incredible actress. She's funny and witty and smart, and her her martial arts are like the only cool action bits of this entire film, and they are super freaking cool. And then of course there's Wong, played by Benedict Wong, who's in Marco Polo on Netflix. He is awesome. He's funny. He plays a master and protector of like a library of magic books, and I think he's going to be a fan favorite, and I really hope he gets to have a bigger role in future movies, because there's no doubt going to be a Doctor Strange sequel, and I believe he's already confirmed to appear in Avengers Infinity War as well. So that's it for the video, so I'll put this on quickly. So a couple of cool supporting characters. Villain, magic, not enough of it. Doctor Strange himself, not super likable, but I like Benedict enough, and they do enough cool stuff with his costume and the Eye of Agamotto, which you'll learn about in the film, that I do want to see him work alongside the other Avengers, and I want to see what magic does when all these other characters who are based in science and tech or from space interact with a character like Strange, because that's very, very exciting. And last but not least, Mordo. Mordo in the comics and in the animated film is a straight-up two-dimensional villain. In this film, he sort of plays an ally of Strange, and he's described as being like the strength, whereas Doctor Strange is sort of the mindfulness and thoughtfulness and the intelligence. Mordo's supposed to be the perfect foil to that, as representing his his strong right arm, but they don't make him strong. He comes off as a confused newbie student who can't solve any problems, can't figure anything out, is kind of angry a lot, he doesn't know how to react, and doesn't do any magic outside of, again, the only magic he can do is like landing from very high places. He creates these little things for his feet when he lands, but he doesn't do cool spell casting. He doesn't create magic weapons. He doesn't do anything really, really cool. So it's kind of a waste of a character who's a major player in the comics. But I'm sure, like Wong, that Mordo will have a big role in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe if they can keep making movies that are based in this magic realm. So Doctor Strange, it's okay. If you're already bought into this franchise and you know you're going to be there for the Avengers movies, yeah, for sure you have to see this. But is it a rush out to theaters and see it? Is it a mind-blowing experience? No, it's kind of forgettable. There's like one or two really cool sequences that feel new, and they don't dive into that enough. They put too much weight into the stuff we've already seen in many other movies. So I kind of wish they took a few more risks with this film. They didn't. So I hope in 2017 with Guardians 2, with Spider-Man Homecoming and Thor Ragnarok, we get some truly like revolutionary things, stuff that we haven't seen before, different kinds of stories, because this one was just felt, not as fun as Ant-Man, and that's kind of a shame, because this one had probably the most potential of all the origin stories coming up. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you do see this movie, or you've already seen it because it's already open overseas, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love reading your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm putting up a ton of gameplay videos this week. I put up a full playthrough of Battlefield 1. I'm uploading a full playthrough of Titanfall 2. And next week, I'll be doing a full playthrough of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And if you'd like any of those games, let me know, and I'll put up a few multiplayer videos as well. And I also have a few more unboxing videos to come up now that we're getting close to the holiday season. So drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.